Welcome to another episode of Can You Reach That?
Can you reach that?
Man, it's the final episode of the season.
Can't believe we've done it.
Season 2. And we got plans for season 3. We're already working on some secrets.
Yeah. New aesthetics, maybe.
Yeah, we gotta get tariffs reduced and a little bit of approval and some classification
Right.
our status.
Yeah.
No, our classification clearances.
Our clearances, yeah. Got to get that G13 classified.
For sure. So, but yeah, well, let's start it off like we always do.
Like we always do it this time.
I read this and I thought this was right up your alley. And that is that do you realize that we don't wash our own hands? When you're washing your hands, you're really just standing there watching them wash each other.
Watching my hands wash each other.
We're not really washing our hands. We're standing there watching them wash each other.
Okay. I don't even know. I don't even know what to do with that.
That's a bizarre one, right?
I don't even know what to do with that. So
I read that one. It kind of cracked me up when I thought about it. It's pretty funny.
So you're not washing your hands.
You're standing there watching them wash each other.
So then how do you wash your hands? Or you don't wash your hands?
You don't. You just watch.
They wash each other?
They wash each other.
Okay.
So I thought you'd enjoy that one. It's that's definitely one of those ones where I was like, I know who wrote this.
Yeah, that was lame.
So
that was weird.
It made me laugh. I read it. It made me laugh. I was like, that's kind of stupid, but also kind of funny.
Super stupid.
You stand there watching them wash each other.
It's like saying you're not walking. Your feet are
taking you on a ride.
Right. Let's go, feet.
They're autonomous.
Right.
So yeah. So I figured.
I
figured last episode I'm gonna pull one out that just made me laugh. It's very stupid. It made me laugh though.
Yeah.
It's not really a thinker per se.
Not at all.
But maybe to the right type of person it is.
I guess.
But it is kind of funny.
Maybe when I get faded and reflect on this, I'll be like, "Oh wow, bro."
Well, it was that one, and in the same article I read that it was a thing that said that, you know, do you realize when you make toast, you're just cooking bread again?
It's double toasted.
So
that makes sense.
I was like, all right,
that makes sense.
You know, you
double toast love.
So
because it's already been cooked.
It's been cooked. So then you're topping it off,
cooking it a little more. Yeah,
just a little more.
Yeah,
I like my toast well done.
Right,
medium well.
Right.
Are you a blackened toast person, or are you like light brown?
Nah, I'm a light brown kind of guy. I'm more on the lighter end of the toast.
Yeah. I see people when they like it super dark brown where like the whole piece of toast is just hard.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Nah.
I like the crispy top, light crispy top with a soft
gooey middle.
Yeah. So
like a gooey in the middle.
Because then when you put the butter on, I feel like it penetrates the crispiness on the top a little and melts into the bread versus just sitting on top of this hard ass surface.
Right.
And then there's those people that are like, no, I like it full on like blackened, like dude, like damn near burnt.
It's just a giant crouton.
And I'm like, so you just like eating ashes? I mean,
it's just a giant crouton at that point.
I mean, that's not even a crouton. I mean, a crouton is toasted and dried. Like when you blacken toast, you're just eating ashes.
Yeah, all the carcinogens.
You're the dude who like spreads the butter on the top of the ashy bread and then puts it back in the. When you go back in for another scoop, it puts all the ashes inside the butter.
Yeah,
it's like you're that dude. Like
butter crumbs.
Can you reach that? You see that? Let's talk about it. Yes, believe that. Let the people know that we see that and what they want to know. Can you reach that? Can you reach that?
And now your host, Tango and Coop.
Can you reach that? Can you reach that?
Can you reach that?
Yeah, man.
So
can't believe we're here. It's the end of an era.
I figured, we've got some favorite topics that we kind of, we talk a lot about a bunch of different things, but we lean on music and movies, I think, a lot.
Seems to be our two biggest ones that we always come back to.
So I feel like let's dive into some music.
Oh, something different today.
So DMX.
X gon' give it to you.
What?
He was doing what before Lil Jon?
he was doing what? He was barking.
Right.
All right. So DMX probably, and I'm mad I never got to see him live, but everything I've seen of him live, like recordings, one of the most entertaining live shows in hip hop. Like that dude his feet touched the stage, and the crowd was his.
Right. Even before his feet touched the stage.
Like,
coming from the back.
Yeah, because you've heard artists talk about that. Where like on the Rocket tour, like Jay-Z and them talked about that. Like when he'd go on, and he'd go on before Jay, and Jay'd be like, I don't even want to fight. Well, I have to go on after this.
Right.
But they said he'd be backstage, the lights would just drop out, and all you'd hear is
crowd go
and the
wild.
crowd go buck wild, and then he'd come out high energy, running around, this and this and this, and then he would stop, do one of his prayers, slow everything down.
Yeah.
You know, and then boom, he's right back to the high energy again. But yeah, they said he took the crowd on a roller coaster.
Yeah, that would be a hell of a show to go to.
Never got to see him live in person. But that said, they are going to release a new album from DMX called DMX Features.
Right.
So and it's going to use a lot.
That one.
Yeah, a lot of tracks. So there'll be some familiar lyrics. They're going to reuse vocals from his 2012 mixtape, The Way-In.
Yeah.
So there'll be some reused vocals and whatnot, but some unheard features and things like that.
That's the one with they just released that track recently, the one with Joyner Lucas, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that one's Bring Out the Worst.
Yeah.
With Joyner Lucas. I love Joyner, man. Joyner's
great. Yeah. I think he's underrated.
I love how not only can he match the energy of somebody such as like a Busta or a DMX or Eminem or something like that, he can hang with them lyrically too. I mean, and Joyner is one of those people where like he can hold his own for sure.
Right.
He's very creative, very good with the pen. But I like some of the songs that he's been featured on, like "Lucky You" with Eminem. Their energy is crazy together.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see. Dang, and also with Caterpillar. No, that was Royce.
With the Caterpillar?
That was Royce. Yeah, that was Royce the 5'9" with Caterpillar, but that was dope too. But with Joyner, with Lucky You, that was just fire. But I love his creativity. I love how he brings that energy. So I haven't gotten a chance to listen to the new song, but I'm anticipating him kind of matching and hanging with DMX's energy just because that's just kind of how Joyner does.
Right.
So, but I'm looking forward to see what they do with the vocals.
Now it'll be good because I mean, I know there's going to be some, like this being one example of them using a pre-released verse.
Right.
But, you know, to know that there's going to be some unreleased music that we haven't heard yet.
Yeah, that part.
With some collabs. I know for sure Wiz Khalifa's going to be on there.
Right.
I know there's other people that are going to be on there, but they haven't been confirmed yet.
Right.
But Wiz is a definite.
Yeah, the album doesn't even have a date yet. That single, the Joyner single, is out now. I think it came out the May 30th.
Yeah.
But the rest of the album is supposed to be out sometime in summer. That's all we know of this year.
Probably during our hiatus.
So potentially,
we'll see. Yeah.
Potentially right in time for season 3.
Right.
So
I'm looking forward to it though. I cannot think of any DMX song that I thought was whack. I can't think of any.
Like DMX just always had a way of just bringing energy to a song, whatever he was getting on. He just brought he matched the vibe of the music the beat.
Yeah.
So I'm real curious to see what they do with this. I'm curious to see how the production sounds. So
yeah, that'll be dope. Ever since that first drop, Flesh of My Flesh. No, not even Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. What was the first one? It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
Dark and Hell is Hot.
It's Dark and Hell is Hot. For some reason, I always go to Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, but
which is also
a great
dope album.
Yeah.
So,
but it's Dark and Hell is Hot, man. That album was something I had never heard before. It was so different.
Yeah, like because again, just like his performance, it took you on a roller coaster. He had the high energy stuff,
right?
And then he had the I'm slipping, I'm falling,
can't get up. Yeah,
you know,
and then he'll hit you with a prayer.
Yeah, and then he got Damien. He got the evil voice in his head. You know, so yeah, man. I mean, he's
got his songs for the girls.
Yeah. Lots of games are being played. How's it going down?
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm really curious to see what it sounds like. I mean, it sucks that DMX is no longer here.
Rest in peace, brother Darkman X.
But yeah, I'm real anxious, real curious to see what this is gonna sound like.
Yeah.
And you know, it reminds me of, you know, they recently said that they have some new Tupac tracks that are supposed to be releasing. I think the difference is I don't know how much DMX had pre-recorded or what leftover recordings there are that weren't used. I'm sure there's some.
Yeah.
But they used to say, like, the legend of Pac is that he had thousands of songs.
Yeah, he was
recorded.
just recording all the time.
They said that he would just put on a typical a boom pop beat and all different tempos and whatnot, and he would just rap and he just create songs. And then later on, when they wanted to pull one, they would just create the music to go, you know. So I heard he just has ridiculous amounts of vocal recordings that apparently are vaulted.
Yeah.
So whatever they're gonna do with this rumored Pac one is gonna be interesting too.
That'll be dope to see. I mean, when's the last time they put out a Pac album? I feel like it's been a while.
You remember how there was like a cajillion Machiavelli albums?
Man, back in the day, yeah, the early 2000s.
They're all bootleg, the bootleg ones and stuff. So yeah, it was crazy.
New Tupac. It's like, seriously, we haven't heard all of it yet.
Right, and we haven't, you know, and it gets me thinking too about, you know, and I think we mentioned on a previous show, but it gets me thinking about other artists who may have
like posthumous
recording
music.
Yeah, like Aaliyah, like we mentioned Aaliyah.
Yeah.
Like, what if there's some Aaliyah stuff that, you know, Timbaland has vaulted, you know, that he could still throw out there.
Right.
You know, there's, you know, what about some Big L or, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So
a lot of, I mean, there's so many. Biggie, you know, Big Pun.
Right.
It'd be crazy to hear some unreleased Big Pun right now.
Right.
The world needs some Big Pun right now. Because I again, and not to say I wasn't the biggest fan of the music of Big Pun's music. It just, you know, just wasn't really my style. But lyrically, like, you couldn't knock him. You put him on a banger. Yeah, you put him on a banger.
Big Pun. I remember one of my favorite tracks with Big Pun was the track he had with Black Thought, where him and Black Thought went back and forth.
Yeah.
I thought that one was super dope.
Yeah.
So
like two dope lyricists.
They sampled Rocky. They had Rocky, Adrian's voice and whatnot. And yeah. So that was pretty dope. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what DMX got to offer. I'm curious about the production. Like I said, like what kind of beats are they going to get Swiss? Because it'd be dope if you know they just keep it right.
Maybe it'll be a collaboration of different producers for different songs.
Could be. But I definitely want to hear some Swiss beats on there.
Swiss beats on it. DMX love a Swiss beats beat.
I feel like it's near mandatory.
Right.
So
man, so now I would like to see Eve as one of the features.
Yeah, get some Rough Rider, Drag On, Reeve. Yeah, why not, right?
Let's bring them all back.
Throw the locks on there.
Right. Ooh. Some locks.
Why not, right? Let's get it all. Let's get Double R back in business.
Right. Let's bring it back. Let's bring the Rough Riders back.
Steering in the direction of producers, I saw that they had a Mount Rushmore of producer rappers. Producers that also rap. As opposed to the rapper who also produces. Because I know there's like Eminem raps, but he also is known to produce a track or two.
Right.
So
rapper first though.
But yeah, producer rappers. And
we just talked about Swiss Beats, you know.
But he didn't really rap.
He had a couple.
But it wasn't.
I'm just saying. He's a producer who raps.
Right.
I'm just saying.
So
I don't think he's on Mount Rushmore of the producer rappers, but
with that, the Mount Rushmore, I'll list them off in the order that it was there. Number 1 was Dre, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Number 2 was RZA.
Okay.
And I'm there with I'm with that.
I can see that. I mean, I'm not a big RZA fan. I'm just not a big East Coast music fan to begin with. So
right.
Not to say that it doesn't deserve to be on there.
I like the Woo. The Woo's for the children.
I'm just not that familiar with it. Yeah, Woo is for the children.
So,
but I hear they're nothing to fuck with too.
They're not. They're not. You know. But no, I think it's warranted for him to be on there for sure.
Yeah.
And the next one is, I think, mandatory, and that's DJ Quick. Quick has to be on that list.
Yeah.
Because not only does this dude produce for a lot of stuff aside from his own, a lot of stuff. But the dude has solid rap albums.
Right.
So you can't not put Quick on the list. And you know, that there's an argument because of his catalog of rapping and producing that he could be number 1. I mean, there's an argument for that.
Potentially. Like, I definitely say he's a better...
Because don't get me wrong, Dre's probably top tier when it comes to producing.
Dre's a great producer, but I would say
he does rap. But
Quick's a better rapper than Dre.
If you line their rap... Now, Dre's rapped on a lot of classics for sure. But if you line the catalog up, I mean, Quick has albums upon albums upon albums. We're still waiting
Yeah.
on Detox, man.
Yeah.
So, but no, I think Dre, RZA, and Quick is a great start. And the final one, which also makes sense, is Kanye.
Okay. Yeah.
So
That's a good list. I like that.
I can throw out a few that I agree with the list. I agree with it, and I feel like some of them could be swapped.
Right.
But I figured it'd be fun for us to come up with some honorable mentions to that list because I think it's accurate. I think those four are pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, outside of RZA, and the only reason I won't say I don't agree with RZA, I'm just not as familiar with his catalog as I am with Dre and Quick and Kanye.
So a great honorable mention, in my opinion, is Jermaine Dupri.
Oh yeah, JD. Definitely.
JD had a lot of rap stuff going on.
Yeah.
He obviously produced for
Production
a
game was
ridiculous
crazy.
amount of people.
I mean, brought us Crisscross,
So
brought us the Brat,
yeah,
you can't
Jagged
not mention
Edge. I
JD.
mean, he mixed R&B and rap too.
Yeah.
So Usher.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great one. I don't know. You got any?
JD's a good one.
I got a few off the top of the head, but I'll let you. We'll go back and forth.
Q-Tip.
Q-Tip, I agree with, and I think Q-Tip is slept on for his production.
Right. His production was very, I would say, under wraps. He kept it. I would say he kept his production low key.
He's got a very eclectic style. It's but it's dope. Very musical.
Yeah.
I mean, he did just produce LL's last album.
Right.
So, but no, I mean,
he's up there. Yeah, but he's not as big.
He's not known as
of
much
a mention as a producer.
For sure.
Yeah, most people would know him for his rapper.
That's a great one. And I mean,
Yeah.
honorable mention too. And you could argue that maybe not known for his rapping per se, but Timbaland, right? Timbaland is a fantastic producer.
Yeah,
but did rap. But I'm not gonna
solid rapper.
I'm not gonna necessarily swap him in for the four that are on the Rushmore. I'm not gonna necessarily swap him, but his honorable mention for sure. His production is top tier. Period.
Yeah, definitely.
I think his rap, his style, it complemented tracks. But I don't know if it was the leader of the track.
Right.
But producer, hell yeah.
Yeah, can't knock that one.
You got another?
Yeah, Lil Jon.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Lil Jon, great producer. Rap, I mean, energetic rapper.
He was for me, he rapped, but I feel like he was more of the callback artist. He was the chanter. He would come up with those call and return type things, the what's and the, So, but no, that's honorable mention.
He did bring us some good music though. I mean, the work, and I think we brought this up before. The work he did with E40 on My Ghetto Report Card,
for sure. Sure.
I can't. How he managed to come up with those beats.
He pioneered the crunk movement, and the hyphy movement. He was right He was right in the mix of both, which is two different regions of the country.
Right. To be the sound of the South and the sound of the Bay.
Right.
Like, come on now. You can't knock that.
Production on point, for sure.
You can't knock that. Yeah.
So another one I'll throw out, a little old school, but probably kind of slept on too. KG.
From Naughty by Nature.
Naughty by Nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously rapped, right? Part of the group.
Right.
Produced for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So,
nah, he's definitely.
I think KG definitely has to be at least honorably mentioned.
Great producer rapper.
If you're doing it like a top 10 or top 25, he's on the list.
Yeah.
For sure. I think a lot of his production is known once you're told, oh yeah, KG.
Oh yeah, he did that. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then you'll hear it. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean,
nah.
You got any more?
I don't know if I wouldn't say he's more rapper than producer, but J. Cole.
Okay.
Because he has done some production.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's primary rapper
right.
before producer. But I do feel like he deserves a mention.
I could I think that kind of goes along the Eminem where obviously Eminem's a rapper, but Eminem is not known for his production first.
Right.
He's known for his production because he does produce now.
Yeah.
He said he studied Dre. I mean, why wouldn't you, right?
Right.
But no,
first.
I put him on that line where he's rapper first and then producer.
Yeah.
So another one that comes to mind that maybe didn't rap as often per se.
Let's see if we're thinking of the same person.
But I'm gonna go with the dude who we mentioned has a watch, and that is Jay Dilla.
Jay Dilla.
Dilla time.
Yeah.
So some good honorable mentions, I think. And I'm sure there's more. Feel free to drop the comments if anybody has it's producer first who also raps.
Right.
So But I think we definitely mentioned some solid ones. I think the Mount Rushmore is pretty accurate.
It's a good list. I can't really
fight it.
I can't really think of somebody else who tops those four gentlemen. You know? Like don't get me wrong, Timbaland's a great producer, but
agreed.
As far as rapper goes, I
think his vocals more compliment because he, again, like Lil Wayne, he had a way of kind of complimenting the track.
Right.
I mean, I said Lil Wayne, Lil Jon. Lil Jon would compliment the track with the chants and the whats and the this, and it would definitely and Timbaland wasn't the same high energy, but he would compliment the track with those subtle vocals,
float on it.
Yeah, and he, skilled, talented, but
rap level,
definitely on the honorable mention list.
Yeah,
for sure. So,
nah, that's a good list. So Kanye, Quick, RZA, and Dre.
Yeah.
I see it. I believe it. You guys agree? You guys think there should be somebody else?
Throw out some names
that gets knocked off of there. Again, like the only person I would remove is RZA, and that's only because.
But who'd you replace him with though?
Quick's already on there.
I mean, the closest I think the next up would probably be JD, just because again, when you're looking at catalog, huge production catalog,
JD or Lil Jon
has problems.
Well, and I say Lil Jon. Okay, if we're gonna include production wise, I would say it was a toss up between JD and Lil Jon. Rapping wise, I would say that JD is a better rapper than Lil Jon.
Has the little edge
so,
over.
So I'll put Lil Jon over. Put JD over Lil Jon.
Yeah, he's close. If there was 5 heads, yeah. So.
Nah, that's a solid list.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot more.
Throw us some comments. Who do you have as a replacement for the top 4 of Dre, Quick, RZA, and Ye, and or throw out some more honorable mentions. I'm curious to see what people think.
Yeah, this list is a lot better than the Complex list that came out. That's for sure.
It is. Yeah, I'll go there.
Yeah,
I'll go there. So,
I mean, again, kudos to Complex for putting the list together, but
yeah,
you gotta
spread that love.
Something. It seemed like it was just all new school. Like they didn't have any. Now, speaking of new school, Travis Scott.
Okay.
As a producer rapper. But again, I feel like he's more rapper.
He's more rapper
than producer. Yeah. But yeah, there's a couple new heads out there.
Auto tuner.
I don't knock it. I like it.
So
first time I heard Goosebumps, that's the song that turned me on to Travis Scott.
Every time.
Yeah. That's the one that turned me on to Travis Scott. That beat.
It's that beat. That's for me. For me, when that beat hit, I was like,
yeah. And then Kanye comes in on it. I mean, not Kanye.
I was expecting
Kendrick.
Yeah. No. Kanye was not on.
That's the remix, man. You ain't heard that one?
You got that one down at the car wash on cassette. Like, why is Travis Scott holding out cassettes?
I downloaded it off LimeWire. that unreleased Kanye.
That's why your computer stopped working.
Yeah, exactly why.
So, but yeah, man. I mean, that's solid. It's solid.
That's cool. I like that. That's a good one.
So let's go to our other hot topic that we love to talk about, and that's movies. So, Sinners, man. They're talking about
the Coog.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler, man, dude, has hits.
Yeah, I don't think he's had a miss yet, or at least not mainstream, because the last 5 movies that he's done,
and we mentioned that he, that X-Files has been handed to him. So I'm really curious to see where he goes with that. I mean, I'm a fan, so I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it drops soon because I'm anxious.
How did that even come about?
That's what I wanted. Did somebody offer it, or did he go, "Hey, you know what I want to do?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to do. You know what I mean? Like if he was just like, "I want to do this,"
because that's not something that I would have imagined that he would have gone for.
Right.
It just doesn't seem like it fits into his realm. But
I just want to know: is it going to be an extension of, or is it going to be a complete overhaul? Like, and if it's a new version, is it going to be new characters, or is it going to be a new Mulder and a new Scully, and they're going to start it
like a whole
so recast it and the whole nine. But I'd like to see him kind of just take it over. Have 2 new detectives that are part of the X-Files. Throw back to Mulder and Scully a few times.
Right.
Get them as guests from time to time.
Yeah.
Gillian Anderson, and get them back on the show every once in a while, just as a throwback. Maybe they're one of the the big wigs in the
right.
agency.
They're in the back office now.
Yeah.
Office job. Yeah.
Maybe Mulder's the new guy, the guy who smokes.
Right.
So
yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. But no, Sinners. There's a lot of talk about sequels. I think people want it, obviously. I think whenever there's a good movie, somebody wants to see more, right? So there's always a drive for that. And I think sometimes they get carried away. I think sometimes they're not warranted. I've read two different things about this. One, I've read that Ryan Coogler's down for a sequel, and I heard that there's rumors that he wants Tom Cruise to be a part of it alongside, Michael B. Jordan and all this other stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool, But then I've also heard that he's not interested in doing a sequel. I've read both things, so I don't know which one is true yet.
Right.
But I did read that Warner Brothers says that whether he's involved or not, they're doing a sequel. And that kind of made me a little sour because that throws back to something that we've talked about a lot, like with the Scary Movie franchise, where New Line kind of just was like, oh, it's ours
Let
now.
it ride.
But yeah, it just gives me vibes about that, the Scary Movie franchise. So I don't think it's right for them to say, regardless if he's involved or not, we're doing it. At that point, it makes me, if he's not involved, it makes me not want to even bother with the sequel.
Right. Because they're not going to do it justice.
So, because they're going to take their own liberties. They're going to get somebody else who's going to restylize it.
It'll be Scary Movie 3 all over again.
Yeah, I'm a hard pass.
Yeah.
So, if they do it, I hope he's involved. I mean, how do you not involve the dude who's like you just mentioned is throwing hit after hit after hit? Like, how do you not involve that? But they did that with the Wayans, right?
With the Wayans, yeah.
So
even the studios will take that chance, at least because you'll get at least one out the gate where people will fall for it off of the notoriety of the previous one. The same way that Scary Movie 2 came out. And they were like, oh, we're doing 3. And everybody wanted to see 3 until they saw 3.
And see, 3, if you remember, they went out and they got a gang of extra cameos to try to make up for it.
Which is what kind of made it.
Yeah, and same thing for 4. They had all these cameos, these different stars.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like,
I mean, they even had Shaq up in there.
Right? So,
yeah, so I'd be looking forward to see a sequel, a Sinner sequel.
But it has to be a Coogler. Has to be.
More looking forward to it if it's a Coogler feature.
Yeah, if it's not, I'm not even going to bother, to be honest with you. I'm not even going to bother. And I'm a movie buff, but I'm not going to bother.
I've even heard talks of, nothing official, but, like a spinoff using the Vampire Hunters.
Right.
So that would be interesting to see also.
Well, I mean, to its credit, so globally at this point right now, Sinners has made $350 million globally off a $90 million budget.
Yeah.
So you can definitely call that a success. And you have to credit that in part to Coogler.
Right. No.
I mean,
it's damn near in whole.
So I mean, that obviously it was a great written script. They got a great cast, and you got Coogler just taking the helm and just running with it.
Yeah.
So that's a success. I mean, a $90 million budget is nothing to sneeze on, but by today's standards, that's fairly low budget.
Right.
And they made 350. Now, just to contrast, the new Mission Impossible film has also grossed $350 million globally, but it had a $400 million budget. So it's still in the red.
So they
dude.
still haven't recouped their. Yeah.
So and when they do recoup it, it's not as profitable of a film as Sinners.
Right.
And when you think about the Mission Impossible series and the big budget film, the stars, everything else, and how commercialized Mission Impossible is in itself, it's kind of like disappointing. It's like, dude, you spent $400 million, you only made 350 after this amount of time. I mean, and again, 350 is nothing to sneeze at, but when you've spent 400,
right,
it's like crap. And and I feel like it's another 50 million, it's possible, but it's at this point, viewers are slowed down on that movie. There's newer stuff coming out, so I don't know if it's going to reach 400. It might break even.
Might just break even, yeah.
Maybe it'll make up for it on some streams and stuff when it's out, but
and this is the last.
Sinners is so far ahead.
Yeah, and this was the last installment of the Mission Impossible series, right? Or so they say.
So they say. They've said that before.
And which is crazy because I saw it a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
I don't think it was opening weekend, but I saw it a couple weeks back.
I haven't seen it yet.
Pretty good. It was interesting. But the way that they did it, because this was like the last half of the one that came out prior.
Right.
The way that they did it, the first portion of it, they just kind of sped through a couple scenes to get us to the end, to the final scene or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like I feel like they could have literally pulled 2 to 3 more movies out of that instead of trying to squeeze it into this one.
Extended the story out a little bit.
Literally. Because there's part like you're for 30 minutes you're watching a section and it's going down and then it's like, all right, we're on to the next one. It was like, that could have been a whole movie by itself. But, I know they're
That's
trying
crazy.
to shut it down. He's getting older, so he can't be doing too many more of his own stunts.
Right. So
yeah, decent movie though.
Another tidbit that I saw. So there's been talks for a minute about a Street Fighter movie coming out, about something being worked on. Do you remember the original one, Jean-Claude Van Damme?
I don't think I ever saw it, but I do remember Jean-Claude.
They even made a video game about there was the movie video game too.
Yeah,
but, that was terrible. The one thing that was a little bit bothersome was Guile was the guy with the blonde hair. He's the blonde hair military guy from the USA.
Right.
But they got Jean-Claude Van Damme with the hard accent to play the
Guile.
Yeah. And I low-key wanted to see the hair. And of course they didn't do the hair. So
I had a hair.
So I'm like, come on, man, keep it true.
Right.
So I don't know what they're doing on this new one. I'm hoping it's better than that OG one, because that movie it's like the first Mario Brothers movie. It's like just shout out to John Leguizamo, but no. But I did see a rumor that they're looking at Jason Momoa. Do you know what character you think he'll play? A lot of people probably thinking since he's big and buff, maybe a Zangief. So they're talking about Blanca.
Jason Momoa is Blanca.
Blanca.
Okay.
So now
interesting.
My question from there, just movie experience, right? My question from there is this going to be practical makeup with some CG help, or is it going to be mocap and it's going to be a CG beast? Because Blanca was obviously not human. He damn near walked on all fours. He walked with his knuckles.
Yeah.
And obviously some of the moves he does, like the spin and the electric, that's going to obviously be CG work, right? You already know that much. But as the character himself, like when he's just on screen, not fighting, and I don't know if he's grunting, talking. I don't know.
Yeah, because he doesn't talk.
Yeah. So, well, there was always the text on the screen, so you could speculate if he did talk or not.
True. Or maybe they were just subtitles.
There was no speech in that game. Nobody talked. But that's what I'm curious on. Is it going to be him in like makeup and practical effects, on some kind of Marvel type stuff, or or is it going to be he's just going to be full on mocapped, and then they're going to animate it in with real life characters later? So that I'm kind of curious to see how that transpires. I don't know which one I'd prefer. I almost feel like I may prefer a hyper realistic CG, using Momoa as the motion cap.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess we'll have to see, and maybe the voice, I guess, if they're going to have him talk. But I'm curious what the rest of the cast is going to be like, and are they going to have all the at least
the mains, yeah,
the OG characters? Are they going to have those? You're going to see Ken, Ryu, Guile.
Got to see
Dalsum.
Yeah,
and Dalsum has to be CG, right? Because I don't know anybody who can stretch their arms like that.
True.
So, but yeah, I'm just curious how they're going to run that one. If it's going to be good, because you remember the first Mortal Kombat movies were a little cheesy. They weren't terrible, but they were a little cheesy. But that one that came out a few years back was pretty good. It was actually pretty good.
I don't know if I've seen any of them.
Oh, okay. I'll let you borrow it. I got the Blu-ray. You got a Blu-ray player, right?
I do.
Keep it practical. And ironically, I don't know if you've seen the story that a lot of physical media is making a comeback. They said CD sales have started to rise, not significantly, but slowly.
Man.
And same thing with like Blu-ray and even DVD sales. And that's because people are starting to realize, as it spreads through social media, because people don't read real articles, that you don't really own those digital ones. That even the ones that you quote unquote purchase, it's in the agreement that, hey, if they decide to pull it from the server, you're not going to have it anymore.
That's it. Yeah.
Unless you've downloaded it, I guess.
I mean, hey, if you want to get people to start picking up something again, just say you're going to get rid of it.
Right.
Red Lobster, for example.
Right.
Nobody was messing with Red Lobster until they were like, "Oh, Red Lobster's going bankrupt."
I still don't mess with Red Lobster.
I've been there. We went because of that, and I don't know what happened to the prices. Crazy expensive.
Right.
It's not worth what it costs.
Well, you know me, when I look down my list of internal restaurant preferences, that's not even on the list.
Yeah.
So
nah, man, I go for the Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Smell like
I go for the biscuits. I stay for the lobster.
Smell fishy.
Right.
But no, I mean, I'm curious how it's all going to come to par. But I did see that the physical media is on the rise, movies and music, because as people learn that, they're like, wait, that's not mine.
Right.
And I've that's why I still have my collection of CDs and my Blu-rays and stuff. I mostly have it because I was like, well, if the internet goes down, I can still watch movies,
I mean, we started before this whole internet thing, so started collecting before this
started
whole
this
internet
internet. This the
thing. It's
mother.
the thanks we get.
So, but yeah, it's CD sales have actually started rising again, and not significant yet, but it's having some companies second guess music sales because
Yeah.
streaming is one thing. Obviously, we know that you get 1/1,000,000th of a penny per stream or whatever it is. But back in the day, to go platinum, you literally had to sell your album 1,000,000 times.
Right.
So
Hey, as an artist, I mean, it would make sense.
you could actually make money as an artist from your sales versus now you're not making nothing from streams, and so you got to go out there and tour and make your money comes from shows.
Other
generally.
stuff, yeah.
Shows and merch. So hey, physical media might be making a comeback. I mean, it's the same thing with games. Like it was exposed a while back. Like PlayStation released both the Blu-ray version and the digital version because some people prefer digital. It loads faster. I give it that. But if they ever remove those games and you happen to not have it downloaded on your console, you might not be able to get that back. You might have paid $70, $80 for a game, and you can't even have it back because they took it off.
Because you don't have the disc.
So, and if you have the disc, you can play it, but if you don't, so so physical media maybe
It's interesting.
back on the rise just for that purpose. And here's one thing I'll say: if music, video games, and movies start becoming more popular again on physical media, there's a chain reaction to that. One, it creates jobs because now you're going to get them pressing factories back open. You're going to get all kinds of jobs for post production and compression and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Back in, so you're gonna create jobs for all of that stuff. Two, you're going to boost the economy on sales again because people aren't going to just be streaming and this and this and this.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a little economy boost, and you'll get people appreciating the purchase more. I mean, I feel like now when you stream an album, like if so and so's got a new album, you stream it, you might scam through it, save 1 or 2 songs to your playlist, call it a day. You got the album, you're more inclined to kind of give it more of a shot because you're going to pop it in and you're going to listen to it. And you might favor some tracks, but you're going to probably get through most of the album a few times.
Right.
So you tend to appreciate. I mean, it's back when I did music. One of my biggest things was if you're giving, like a lot of people give out their stuff. It's like if you're giving it away, it means it's not worth nothing to you. So I didn't give music. I sold music.
Right.
And so because I feel like if you buy it, you're more inclined to listen to it. If somebody gives it to you, you're going to toss it out the window. It's going to become a frisbee.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
so I feel the same way with digital versus physical. If you buy a physical album, you're more inclined to listen to it. You're more inclined to appreciate it more than streaming. Streaming is just too convenient to the point where it's not appreciated. It's the only thing that's appreciated is the convenience,
Right.
not the music itself per se.
Yeah.
So
agree with
that's
that.
my hot take for today. Hot take. But yeah, I mean, I know you have a lot of physical media, so I mean, you're like you said, we came up
Yeah,
in
I
that,
still keep mine.
in that
I
era.
just picked up the one of them days, Keke Palmer and SZA.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Had
That
to add
movie is
that to the
hilarious.
collection,
That movie is
yeah.
hilarious.
Sooner Sinners comes out on Blu-ray,
Blu-ray,
or
yep.
4K. I'm gonna pick that one up too.
Yeah, I mean, I've picked up most. I mean, I still pick up Blu-rays, man, but I have the whole Marvel universe for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
I got all the
definitely.
Marvel movies, and
Definitely.
so yeah.
I mean, it's definitely slowed down a lot, but I do. There are certain movies that I come across where it's like,
value
I
it like
still got to get
it's
it.
a collection. It's like
Yeah.
it's like having trading cards. I value the fact that like I have a collection. Like I have the Nightmare on Elm Street box set.
Got that one.
And when it's all in the box set, it lines up and it has a picture. The covers create a picture of Freddy.
Yeah.
That's dope. I mean, I'm like, when I saw that, I was like, well, I guess I'm buying the whole collection.
Right.
Now, I don't necessarily care for all the Freddy movies. The first few, I mean, the first, I'd say like maybe 1 through 4 were pretty good. And then after that, it kind of got a little,
A little campy.
But the fact that it was a whole, of course, I'm going to buy the box set. So
We did have a Kelly Rowland feature though,
this is true.
so that's pretty cool.
So, but
Yeah, I was definitely down for the box sets. Like I would go, depending, I would buy the movies as they would come out, and then they'd come out with the box set, and it's like, oh yeah, I need the box set.
yeah, certain ones I would get individually, but there was others that I knew that like especially ones like Rocky, right? Where they're all out. They're not making, obviously they did make new ones, but Rocky 1 through 5 came out with a box set, and again in order, it makes it look like the picture of Rocky holding his fists up. So I copped that, but I've got the newer Rockies and the Creeds as well. So I have them all on my shelf together because, well, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, having collections is dope. I mean, I got the Pixar collection because those are classic.
Right. Disney was like my first.
What's your favorite and what's your least favorite? I don't want the whole list in order, but as far as Pixar is concerned, what's your least favorite? Because I feel like they have some solid writing and the animation's always been on point. They were ahead of their time for a while. So
I don't even know if I have a least favorite Pixar.
I have a least. There's a fight for the least, but I think I have a least for sure.
B-movie, was that Pixar? No, that was DreamWorks. Huh?
No, that was DreamWorks. Yeah, I didn't care for. That was the one with
Jerry.
Yeah. So
Jerry Seinfeld. I mean, it was cool. It was a cool movie.
Yeah.
Bugs Life was a good one, but was that Pixar?
Yeah, Bugs Life is a good movie. It's not near the top of my list, but it is a good one. But I it's hard to say what my favorite is. I'm leaning on the first Incredibles. I think Incredibles was dope.
It's definitely
Frozone and whatnot.
List. Yeah.
I think my least favorite out of all of them was, and I'm brain farting right now, but there was a Cars 3, correct?
There was a Cars 3.
That's the one where they had like the imports and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's probably my least favorite Pixar film. So
I can see that.
I think if you go from bottom up, Cars 3 is the bottom, Cars 2 is right above it. Now Cars 1, I put it higher up. But the 2 and 3, I didn't really. They were okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, the animation's always on point. Stories were cool, but But yeah, The Incredibles I think is my top. What do you have as your top Pixar?
Yeah, Incredibles, probably my top also.
And the Toy Story, all the Toy Stories, I mean, have always been solid. So I mean, they're definitely near the top as well. But I think Incredibles just.
I mean, another one that's. And I probably under Incredibles. I still think I put Incredibles over this one, but Monsters Inc.
Solid, yeah.
Was a good one.
Yeah.
I love me some Monsters Inc.
There it is.
Yeah.
So.
But nah, Incredibles definitely has to be top. I can't really think of any other one that I would put over Incredibles.
Just very solid, yeah. Just a very solid.
Like that was a. I watched that movie so many times.
It had good comedy, it had a good story. And it had good action. It was like a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So no, I definitely dug it. I mean, and lots of classic characters in that one too. Frozone,
definitely. Frozone brought us Frozone. Where is my super suit?
Right.
Yeah.
So well, what's your favorite? Forget the movies. Let's just go Pixar. What's your guys' favorite Pixar film? What's your favorite and what's your least favorite out of just Pixar films? Throw in the comments. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, and I'd have to look and see. I'd have to see the whole list of Pixar films to.
Yeah,
because I'm thinking of a lot of movies, but I can't. Again, I just threw in a DreamWorks film.
Right. I mean, they had obviously they had the Toy Stories, they had the Cars, they had the Incredibles, Monsters Inc., Brave.
Brave was a good one.
So yeah, I mean, there's a decent list.
How to Train Your Dragon?
Inside Out. No, How to Train Your Dragon is DreamWorks.
Yeah. See.
So
I guess I'm a huge DreamWorks fan.
Inside Out.
Oh, Inside Out's a great.
So yeah,
great movie. Yeah. That's a top tier one also.
Yeah, let's see what the listeners have to say, man. Throw some in the comments and let us know what you got. And with that, I think we've wrapped season 2.
This is gonna be it.
So like, subscribe, follow, throw a shout in the comments.
Thanks for riding with us.
We'll be back in a few weeks.
We will
to
see
start
you guys
season
soon.
3.
Yes, sir.
So can you reach that?
Can you reach that?
Can you reach that?
Can You Reach That? Brought to you by Double One Entertainment in Coopersville. Hosted by Tango and Coop. And created and edited by Tim Greenlee and Brandon Adolphus. Music, sound design, and editing by Michael B. That's me. Visual art and graphic design by Jonathan Greenlee. Additional visual design by Timothy Greenlee.